Well. Welcome back to another episode of Pop Apologists. Everyone, hello, welcome. Chandler, greetings.
Hello, welcome. I'm so happy to be here. I'm delighted. You look beautiful. I love that shirt on you.
Oh, thank you. You look very cozy right now.
Yeah, I'm bringing a different energy today than you are, and that's okay. I just wanted to be relaxed, you know, in my cozies here in the studio. So, yeah, enjoy it.
She's got full glam but a sweatsuit on, which is a vibe.
It's like I'm going to a Housewives, like, meet up in the car or something, you know?
It's giving Lisa Barlow and Lala Kent, you know?
Yes.
Just in a tracksuit at a...
But full glam.
But full glam.
Yeah.
Well, I have a good feeling about this episode, okay?
Well, that's good. You usually never say that.
I'll tell you why. My iPad is going to be facing the correct direction today.
Are you going to share with the class what happened?
Everyone. Okay, so here is the quick tale. I was very annoyed because my iPad, when I turned it, the page wouldn't move, okay?
It was upside down permanently. It was stuck upside down.
Stuck upside down.
So you want to show everyone how you were recording.
So if you look back at a few previous episodes, you'll see that my iPad is upside down, which irked me because I was just like, this is a big design flaw.
Huge design flaw. Something big time was overlooked.
100%. And it just looks kind of embarrassing.
It's like... yeah. It just like looks bad.
It looks bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was annoyed with Apple, annoyed with the world. And we came to record yesterday because we, recorded another episode, which I'm so excited for everyone to hear. And I'm bemoaning the state of my iPad to Joe and Chandler. And long story short, apparently, it was locked in the wrong position.
Had you ever used that button before?
See, here's the thing. I had used it before.
Yeah.
I knew it existed.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that Apple would allow you to lock it upside down.
Yeah.
I think
major design flaw.
Major design flaw. I think that this is me being new to the iPad world.
Yeah. Your iPhone would do the same thing, I think.
No, I don't think iPhones will lock in. Will iPhones lock upside down?
So. I think they will, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
I'm learning a lot of things.
And I felt like a total wizard because I quickly unlocked Lauren's iPad, put it the right way, and you were on your way, and you felt like a new woman.
I felt like a new woman. I felt very geriatric.
Yeah, it was a geriatric.
It was a little embarrassing.
Sure. Yeah.
But I will tell everyone that this was not my first foible with this issue, not being able to really...
This is the worst part about all of this.
Okay, so I confessed to Joe and Chandler that this is not the first time this has happened to me. It also happened to me with my iPhone, but the reverse, right? Where my iPhone would not go horizontal.
Got it, right.
So when I wanted to watch a movie, it just, I couldn't have a bigger screen or watch a show or watch a YouTube video. I was so annoyed.
So huge design flaw.
Huge design flaw. So I, waddled, twaddled. I scurried down to 9 to 5 Mac in Orem, Utah.
Which is like, it's not an Apple store. This is like an off-brand Apple dealer / Genius Bar.
Because the Apple store was 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make it there. And anyway, I was so heated though. I was like so prepared to demand a brand new phone, go full aggressive consumer Karen. And so I kind of came in hot and I was just like, my device will not go horizontal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I started to get into the issues that this presents.
You don't understand. Like, Tim Cook, he should have foreseen this.
Anyway, long story short, the bemused, completely like unmiffed, nonplussed worker at 9 to 5 Mac, esteemed professional, said, oh, just, if you could swipe down on your screen, and they just untapped that lock button, Anyway.
I'm so proud of you for being comfortable enough to share these vulnerable tales of your own stupidity. Because a lot of people can't do that. And you can. And you did that today.
I think I give a lot of hope to people.
So much hope.
Okay. Who are also idiots.
Yeah.
That we can just laugh at ourselves.
It's so true. It's so true. You do a great job at that.
Thank you.
Did I already tell you about going to the guest and resident sample sale?
No.
Well, I went last week.
Okay.
And I just have to say, living in New York, going to sample sales, it's a great part of the experience here. It's very fun that we live in this cool town where they have sample sales. But nonetheless, my sample sale experiences are always completely terrible.
Really?
In a lot of different senses. So I'll back up actually a little bit. I was a little bit early to my hair appointment. It's a funny story actually. Recently, I've been worried that I have potentially a brain tumor because I showed up one day early to my hair appointment a month ago.
Okay.
And then a week ago, I showed up an hour early.
Yeah.
And each time they've been like, hey, so we have you down for, tomorrow. Or, hey, so we have you down for in an hour. And anyway, so that's been a little bit embarrassing. But so I showed up early and I had time to kill, and there was a Rent the Runway sample sale happening nearby.
Wait, I'm so confused. How does this all will come together at the end?
I'm just want to just honestly vent about sample sales for a moment.
Okay, but how does your hair appointment tie in?
Oh, because I was early and there was a sample sale nearby.
A different sample sale.
Yeah, I went to the Rent the Runway sample sale.
Oh, okay.
I've got several different stories in one here, okay?
Right.
So keep up. And anyway, I went to the sample sale that was happening nearby, which was Rent the Runway. I have never seen worse clothing in my entire life. It was like, and I had to wait in a line. Yeah. And I waited in a line for 25 minutes. There was not one item in there that I thought was worth buying because it's already used clothing because it's Rent the Runway. And everything was just awful. It was awful. So I was like, why did I wait in this stupid line? Whatever, I had time to kill. It's fine. So then the other day I decided to try out the Guest in Residence brand. So do you know what that is?
I do. I do know what the brand is. It's a very chic brand. People love it.
Do you know what it is?
I do. No, I do.
Well, who started it?
I don't know who started it.
Oh, Gigi Hadid.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That's why I asked. That's the only reason why I care about it.
I've just seen influencers posting
Yeah,
this in
totally.
Residence.
It's Gigi Hadid's like cashmere sweater brand.
I don't know if you know this, but Mary-Kate and Ashley tried to have people not know that they were behind the row. So maybe that's Gigi Hadid's.
Not exactly. She's like in all the photos. And I always wanted something from there, but it's all pretty expensive. So I was like, oh, I'm stoked. I'll go to the sample sale. It's freezing cold that morning, and I wait in line for no less than 25 minutes, which was, kind of annoying. Anyway. And when you're standing in line with a bunch of other girls who look exactly like you,
middle part.
Everyone's wearing what?
Middle part, chunky earrings.
Yeah, just everyone's got the same ingredients on them,
Right.
like same like sneaker type look, same type of jean look, same type of hair look. It was just that was humbling. And then you're all waiting in line, like, to be let in. Long story short, we wait in line and then we get inside and it's just fucking chaos. It's total chaos.
Yeah.
People are elbowing each other. It's like everyone's like very gruff. And it's like you can't put a hanger down with your thing.
Like someone will take it.
Someone will take it.
Oh my gosh.
So, and meanwhile, all of the employees are totally rude. Like they are barking at you constantly. Anyway, I had a terrible experience, but I did buy 2 sweaters.
And are they great finds?
And I left a bad review about sample sales, about that location.
Okay, great. But are you happy with the sweater purchases?
Yes, very happy with the sweater purchases. I just am like, is it worth it? Like the prices are never that amazing.
I also have a hot take, which is that we make our worst purchasing decisions in environments just like this.
Oh, it's under duress, which is what I was.
It's under duress. We think we have a time limit.
Right.
We're never going to get this deal again. And then you buy the sweater or the thing that you never end up actually wearing.
Get this. So I waited in line to try on my items for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Waiting in line. You only have 10 minutes to try on your stuff. And I felt like cattle.
Yeah.
I actually wrote that in my review. I said, love the deals, but the employees are very rude and treat you like cattle.
Here's, I think, a seminal moment in everyone's coming of age, okay? As a woman who buys clothing.
Yeah.
The moment you take your clothes to a Buffalo Exchange, to a whatever it is, one of these resellers, to the Real, and you have to deal with the snotty employee judging your items, okay?
I can't even stay in the room. I don't stay in the room.
They're not cool. They're not nice to you, but I'm sorry. They are actually very cool.
Yeah.
But they're not nice to you in the process. Yeah. They're very cold and aloof.
Yes. It's like, oh, you want me to look through your clothing? Tell you if I think it's worth anything? Okay, we'll play this game.
And then just watching them look over item by item, and then the way that they
handle it.
It is just the way that they are like, we'll take like 2 of these things.
We're so sorry, but actually some of these were just a little bit out of season.
Or just straight up ugly.
Oh, straight up ugly. Yeah. No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And I have gotten to the point where if I am doing that type of process, I do not stay in the store because I mentally cannot handle
the rejection.
The rejection.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, just the toils of being a fashion girly.
Yeah. In Manhattan. Okay. Well, should we talk about, other toils going on?
Please.
Okay,
excellent segue yet again.
So everyone, 50 Cent is being very vocal about this Diddy situation, okay? Yeah. Diddy apparently has been ringing the alarm, okay? Sounding the whistle.
Yeah.
Sounding the alarm, ringing the whistle.
I'm not sure.
On all this Diddy stuff, okay, for years.
Yeah, yeah.
And he is creating a documentary entitled Diddy Do It.
Excellent title.
That is an excellent title.
Yeah, like 3 cheers for whoever came up with that.
So this is his quote to People magazine. He says, "Look, it seems like I'm doing some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't. It's really just me saying what I've been saying for 10 years. Now it's becoming more full-facing in the news with the puffy stuff, but away from that, I'm like, yo, it's just my perspective because I stayed away from that stuff the entire time because that is not my style."
I think he even said, like, I'm not into the freaky stuff. Maybe I'm basic. He said, like, call me basic or, normal or something like that.
I mean, I just love that 50 Cent
It's
is like a
hilarious.
bastion of male morality.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
Okay, so much to say here, but the first is that I truly am just so impressed, okay, that he's been calling this out and basically saying, like, I'm not into that stuff.
Right.
I almost, like, I want a list of the men. I want a documentary of the men who were like, yeah, this was
Not
the party that I was invited to. This is what I was told was going to go down.
Yeah.
And I said, no, thanks. Not into it.
Right.
You know?
Right. No, I would like also to see that list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's declassify those documents.
There might be a short list. Might be blank pages.
Yeah,
but
honestly,
might just be, say, 50 Cent and Tim McGraw, you know?
Brad
That's
Falchuk,
it.
maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. Who's to say? Yes, I think this documentary will be fascinating to watch. I just kind of just appreciate all the people who are, like, not being nuanced about this.
Right. I don't think there's much nuance to it.
Yeah.
Also, I will say 50 Cent is very much the canary in the coal mine, okay?
How so?
Because he not only called out Diddy before all this came to light, but he sounded the alarm bell about Randall Emmett.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
know?
right. Yes. Wow.
Mm-hmm. He's been calling out the ne'er-do-wells.
It's true. It's true. I think 50 Cent is also kind of famously a little bit petty.
Yes.
Which I think is amazing.
Well, there is the famous story where he bought 200 of the front row seats at a Ja Rule concert. Yeah. So he would perform to basically like an empty audience, which is hilarious.
Amazing. I also think
and very rude. Sorry, Ja Rule.
I'm pretty sure 50 Cent also has like had some money struggles.
I mean, Randall Emmett definitely has. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because weren't they like he owed him money or something? Yeah, yeah. No, but I know 50 Cent has also had some money struggles. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that this documentary does well. Yeah. And, that he gets some credit for it.
We'll be watching.
Yeah, we will.
Can I tell you what was delivered today?
What was?
My DoorDash of Clean Simple Eats Clear Protein.
You DoorDashed it?
I DoorDashed it from Vitamin Shop.
You're kidding.
Because I'm like, I cannot wait for this to be... Like, I can't order it online.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible. I haven't even thought about that. That's like, wow.
I'm obsessed with Clear Protein. Yeah. You can get it at a Vitamin Shop. It's by Clean Simple Eats. It's a protein drink, everyone. It just tastes like a light, refreshing, cold juice. It tastes so good. And there's 20 grams of clean grass-fed protein for 90 calories.
It's amazing. On the days where you just want something that's like a little bit lighter than a protein shake, I love my Clear Protein.
You don't have to mess up your kitchen. You just grab one from the fridge. They're so worth it to me. I'm so excited. You guys, go to cleansimpleeats.com. Use code POPAPOLOGIST for 10% off your order. You need to try the Clear Protein by Clean Simple Eats.
It's a genius product.
cleansimpleeats.com. Okay, another, more news about men. Jason Kelce.
This is the men episode, everybody.
Jason Kelce, everyone, attended the Eras tour. All right.
Do we know, was Donna there?
Donna was there.
Donna went, okay.
She was in attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually funny that you say that because I saw images of her before the concert and like everyone was like, Donna's going to be there. Right. Donna's going to be there.
Right.
But I never saw any footage of her actually there.
Yeah. It's a little bit sus.
It's very suspicious.
It's like Donna maybe just orchestrated a photo shoot before, a photo op moment, and then she didn't go.
Wait, can you imagine if Donna, oh my gosh, this would be so manipulative. But if Donna made it clear that she was in Miami.
Yeah. She's like, I am doing another commercial for Kellogg's or something.
She's like, I have a reel to make, okay, about Honey Nut Cheerios. And I can't make it down to Hard Rock stadiums. Wow.
Sorry. Yeah, it is. It's kind of suspicious that we didn't at least get one video of her like
bopping
singing
along.
Yeah. That's like what she needs at this point. Like her PR team should have been demanding that deliverable.
No, absolutely. Also, so everyone that listens to the show knows that we have been, really shining a light on the feud between Taylor and Donna that we basically made up.
We completely made up and blown out of proportion. But it's real to me.
But we're going to keep going with this fictitious feud because Taylor performed at the concert.
Yeah.
This is me trying. A mashup of Daylight and This
To
Is
Donna.
Me Trying.
This is her saying, this is me trying for you, Donna.
But like, I am trying so hard to be a good future daughter-in-law to you.
Right.
And like, our relationship is so fractured.
It's so fractured.
Mhm.
Nobody knows. Also, I've gotten multiple comments about people loving your Donna Kelce impression.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
It's a little Gary.
That's a little Gary.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Oh, gosh.
So we don't know whether or not she was actually at the concert.
I mean, do you want to Google it really quick? Just see.
I mean, this is the problem. We shouldn't have to Google this information. We always know exactly who's at the show.
That's the thing, as I feel like it would have come up already in all the many Taylor Swift feeds I follow.
I mean, it's like Donna Kelce net worth. It's like one of the searches here. She's such a greedy bastard.
Donna Kelce loves the cash. She loves a check.
Loves a check. Like nobody else.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yahoo. Donna Kelce joins Jason and Kylie Kelce for Taylor Swift's Miami. I just want one photo of her in the same room as the Eras Tour. We just have, written confirmation. No photos.
You guys, this is so suspicious.
There's literally, I'm looking. There's literally not a single photo of her like in the stands. There's not a single like grainy photo. I mean, there's the one of Jason that we were going to talk about.
I just want to be very
Donna.
clear that when it comes out that there's a huge fracture here, a very divided, dramatic relationship, we saw it coming.
We were literally the whistleblowers.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think she just like went to the bathroom and went on her phone the whole time?
I don't think she went. If there's
would she? Why is it report Yahoo News?
Prince William went. We got grainy footage of him. If Donna Kelce's there, everyone is going to whip out their. Why do I get?
We were not planning on even uncovering this in this episode.
No, but why do I get photos of Gayle King when she attends in my feed?
I know.
Every celebrity we see. If Donna Kelce was there in person, we would have seen the footage.
Yeah.
So she actually didn't go.
She didn't go.
But she let it be known that she was in Miami, and then Taylor was
but she's lying to the press because the press has confirmed that Donna was there.
Something's
really, really weird. Well,
okay.
To detract from Donna's absence, we have a photo of Jason asleep at the show.
Right. And I was at first infuriated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because for me, it's like this woman has sat through. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. How many games? How many New Heights episodes?
How many? This woman has sat through 4-hour football games, which, you know what? Spoiler alert, a lot of times are a snooze fest. Boring. They start and stop way too many times.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's not been a single photo of Taylor looking even remotely bored.
Literally, we're not even seeing a quick scroll break.
She's not even on her phone.
Yeah, she's literally not even on her phone.
The work ethic.
She's like in the box, like.
For those of you just listening at home and not watching the video, yeah, it's like she's constantly has her own. She's constantly
the most animated face of all time on.
She's constantly giving, and I think that
is there anything worse than like you have to go perform in the Eras Tour for 3 nights a week, and then you also need to go pretend to be engrossed in like football for 4 to 5 hours.
No, honestly,
on your days off,
which makes the fact that there's a photo of him asleep. Okay, so upsetting. But then if you look closely in the photo, his hand is above his pant, so clearly like above his leg.
It's like his hand is above his pant.
His hand is in the air above his leg. Okay, so you don't sleep with your hand aloft.
I mean, Dad does.
No,
Dad will fall asleep with his hand in the air with his phone going.
Sure, but that's resting. Okay. His hand was like this. There's no
the physics alone.
The physics alone, you cannot like sleep with your
yeah.
muscles activated. Okay, you can't sleep like holding your arm in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he could have also just been resting his eyes.
No, see, I actually disagree.
What do you think? He was lost in the moment.
Like he is enraptured with Love Story.
Yeah.
And he's letting every word of it just sink into his bones.
Totally. I love that idea. And I think also it looks like he's sitting in a very plush seat. Most of the seats that I've sat in when I've gone to Eras Tour have been not very plush.
Right.
So they haven't been super comfy to sit in. But if I was to, be lucky enough to sit in a nicer plush seat, I think I would be sitting back, enjoying a little bit more while seated.
Yeah.
It's okay to be seated during the show. You don't think so?
I mean, maybe during a few of the songs that you're not super, like they're not your songs or whatever, just to try to conserve energy.
Totally. Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on though?
Let's move on. Well, Lauren, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have bought a European vacation house in
Mhm.
Portugal.
Yes.
So, a little bit of backstory here.
Well, let's see
So,
what happened.
Harry's cousin, Princess Eugenia, I think is maybe how you say her name, Eugenie.
Eugenie?
Oh, you're right. Harry's cousin, Princess Eugenie, like is a hard name. And her husband, Jax Brooksbank, split their time between London and the Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club Resort, which is a luxury property development
Mhm.
in Miladies, which is about an hour south of Lisbon. I don't know if I said any of those words right. Miladies?
I was going to say, saying, when you said Miladies, which is a geographical location and not just saying Milady.
Milady?
Yes.
Which is, it's funny because it's like Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club Resort. It like literally sounds like a place in Orange County.
I honestly,
like Costa Terra like Golf Club and Grill.
I literally thought, I was like, does Vicky Gumbelson live on a golf course
Yes.
here?
So there's royal family nearby, and they visited the Princess Eugenia and her husband multiple times before. So what?
I'm just gonna love the actual royalists listening who are just like this.
How do you say it?
You're just like Eugenia.
Okay, Princess E.
Yeah.
Princess E. So Harry and Meghan have visited Princess E before and her husband.
Yes.
So they're familiar with the territory.
The locale.
With the locale. And so they've decided to, have a vacation home.
Mm-hmm.
Something that baffles me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to own that I'm coming from a place of jealousy.
Mm.
I don't understand why people who don't work need a vacation home.
Chandler, they need a place to rest. Okay, they need a place to.
Montecito's not restful enough?
Well, I just think they need to take time off. Have a place to make memories in the summers.
No, it's true. This is what rich people do, but I just am like, she needs to like get to work on America Riviera Orchard, and then she can, go vacation in Europe.
Unfortunately, I think most of the people with second homes are probably the people who don't work.
No, it's absolutely true.
Because they have generational wealth. I've actually been worried about Archie and Lilibet.
Why?
Because I feel like I've known for a minute that they only had one house, which was the Montecito house.
Right.
And like when they go chat with
the friends in Montecito.
and the friends in Montecito are like, "Oh, where'd you go? Like, where did you summer?
Where'd you summer?"
It's like so embarrassing.
It's so like at home.
Like, sorry, we like built forts in the living room.
Yeah.
What do you mean the living room? Like the living room here?
That's such a good point. They were gonna get bullied.
They were literally gonna get bullied.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Harry and Meghan are finally starting to think about their kids.
Totally.
Okay.
That's very selfless of them.
Yeah, and that's a core part of the 001%.
Yeah, is having multiple homes.
Yeah, and summer and making. It's hard to make memories
at
in
your
a home
at your primary home.
Yeah,
I've always said that.
It's hard to make, and it's hard to look back on your summers truly fondly. Okay,
because it's just the same four walls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you even remember that something was summer? You probably don't.
You don't.
Anyway.
It all blurs together in the slog of daily life.
Yeah. So this is a $4.5 million home. Okay, it's yet to be constructed.
Oh, it's just like a lot in Costa Terra.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie are gonna have to soldier
Princess
on.
L.
Princess L. They're gonna have to soldier on for the next few summers as it's constructed. Also, the company that is developing this residence is also connected to George Clooney. Okay.
How so?
He also invested in Casamigos.
Oh.
So, and I
Costa
think
Terra, Casamigos?
I think George Clooney also has a property here.
Yeah.
So it's in Comporta, which is a beach that's an hour away from Lisbon.
Yeah.
Have you been to Comporta?
No, I haven't. But I actually have a friend who went there, I think last year or the year before, and like said that she loved it.
Yeah, Comporta is beautiful. And I will say in all seriousness, I support them like saying we're gonna make memories with his side of the family. It's
always about the memories with you.
No, but for real, like I think it's special for them to be like, no, we're going to invest in them having a connection to his family.
Totally true.
And
also, can I just say, I don't want to anger any of our listeners across the pond, but like it would be nice to summer somewhere not cold and rainy like,
oh my gosh,
the Queen would always do in Scotland.
I had been yearning, to go back to the Cotswolds.
Yeah.
And when I finally went back, I was like, this place is so cold. It's
August
freezing. And it's cold.
Yeah. Which is a vibe, but I think, if you want to summer somewhere, I prefer to summer somewhere warm.
Yeah. I don't think many would disagree. Well, like, Meghan and Harry's vacation home, let's talk about something else we can't afford.
Yeah,
which
let's
is
talk about it.
Taylor's gift to Travis for turning 35.
Yes.
So Taylor reportedly spent $360,000 on Travis's 35th birthday presents, hiring the Formula One track at Monza in Italy for him to spend the day racing at a cost of $250,000, where he'll reportedly have lessons at the circuit as well. The quote is, Taylor focused on things that he loved, mostly with an Italian twist. Travis loved every single present. So it's also reported that Taylor bought Travis 2 watches and an array of designer fashion items from Armani and Ferragamo.
Wow, I bet she got him some gorgeous Giorgio Armani perfume that you can get at Marshall's.
I mean, I was gonna say,
I'm like, Armani is that?
I know. I mean,
it's a nice brand, but I thought it was gonna be something a little bit more
chic.
Yeah, that just
Cool.
I'm like, I mean, it's literally sold at Marshall's and TJ Maxx.
Well, also, I'm sorry, but this does not bode well for their relationship because
Why?
Shannon Bedore
got
got, John Jansen Ferragamo shoes. And that, we know how that relationship ended. We've seen that film before.
Yeah, it's currently playing.
Yeah.
It's not well.
We're not liking the ending.
Something I think about as well here.
Yeah.
She's spending $350,000 on his birthday.
360.
360, excuse me. How much is he gonna have to spend on her engagement ring?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I do feel like when you were early dating somebody, the money, maybe this is wrong for me to think about, but I do. It's like, how much money do you spend on me for my birthdays? Like, how much money are you putting into this relationship? Assuming that both people are kind of on similar levels. Not that he's on her similar level, but, he's like a rich person himself.
I think this is such an astute point, and it's making me think he's not going to be able to afford her engagement ring.
I know. I hear you, because I'm like, I think that she's a person who would, like, the amount of money you would spend on Taylor Swift's engagement ring would be a lot of money.
Lot.
You might have to, like, bankrupt a small country or something.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe she's going to want something more, like, weird.
Let's hope so that he can afford it.
I know.
I mean, relative to the gifts that she's giving him. You know what this reminds me of, Chandler?
What?
I once gave Kagan a gift.
I actually thought about this. And
Did
I was
you think
wondering
about this?
if you felt offended by how now cheap your gift seems.
I thought I was balling out for my boy. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Taylor Swift hits the scene with
Tell
this gift
everyone
for
what you did,
Travis. Okay, so this story is kind of funny. So I told Kagan that we had a family reunion, okay, in like Riverside, where this track was. I was like, oh yeah, my aunt is throwing a family reunion. It's in Riverside, and like
You gotta come.
we have to come. So the morning of, he's like, this reunion thing, like, is it really important I'm there? And I'm like, yeah, like it's very important.
It's extremely
to me
important
that you come. And he kind of was like a little bit not great about it. He was fine, but he was just like, okay. So then we start driving there. And the appointment was at 1:00.
Mm-hmm.
We left Orange County at 11:30. He barely had eaten. I'm like, he's going to need to eat.
Right.
Because it's a 2.5 hour thing.
Right.
But we're supposed to be eating at my family reunion. So we pull off the freeway to go to my aunt's house or whatever, because I'm giving him directions. And I'm like, oh, let's go through Del Taco first. My aunt's cooking is terrible. And he's like, what? And I'm like, no, seriously.
No, we gotta eat.
We have to eat before.
Yeah.
You've never had worse food than my aunt makes.
It's funny because we don't have an aunt that lives in Riverside.
Okay, 2 things. So it was so funny because when it was unveiled, I was just like, didn't you think, like, who's this family in Riverside I've never met before?
Yeah, right. How long had you been dating for at the time?
I think like a year.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and a half. But the other thing that was so funny was before we left, I was like, do you have your driver's license? And he was like, my driver's license? Because he like didn't, he's just carried his phone with him.
My aunt IDs at the door.
Like, giving this big speech about how irresponsible it is to not drive with your driver's license. I'm like, every time I get pulled over, I get in trouble for this. And it's an add-on to the ticket. And you don't want that fix-it ticket.
That's the funniest part of this whole story to me. Because that is the most pointless rule, in my opinion, is having to have your license on your person when you're driving. Yeah.
But
I don't think you've told people what you did for him exactly.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, once we were like supposed to be turning to go to my aunt's house, I was like, oh no, turn left. And we turned left and we pulled into the race car lot to drive basically to race.
Porsches, right?
It was like, there were Porsches, there were Ferraris.
Yeah.
All the cars. And it was like such a fun gift. I highly recommend that as a gift.
It was a great idea. You're great at gift giving.
Thank you. It's such a fun gift for a husband or a boyfriend. Also, the Porsche school in LA has it's kind of a level up experience from that. It's like twice the price, but it's It's definitely like if it's a really cool restaurant you
Yeah,
go to.
cool.
And it's also really good, race experience you can give your partner. So that's another good gift with Christmas coming up, everyone. Anyway,
Something I'm curious about.
Travis would not be impressed.
Well, I actually think that as an afraid person, I would be very nervous. Like, I don't know. I would be nervous for my significant other to go race like F1 cars like for the day. I don't know. It's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't worried about it only because I didn't look that much into it, but I don't think people die doing this.
Yeah. I don't know.
And also
I think actually F1 drivers have died, but I'm sure that if you're paying money to like be coached or whatever, I'm sure they're not having you do anything risky.
And there's someone in the car with you.
Oh, okay.
When you're
That's cool.
driving.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So,
it's like drivers out. They have brakes too, kind of.
I don't know if that's how it works. But like I think one of the joys of people who love cars.
Yeah.
This would need to be explained to me.
Yeah.
But I think some people, they really love like the experience of like learning how to do like the crazy, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love learning to drive the technical car.
You're like to do the crazy turns.
It's not just about like going as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It's about like really like
Shifting and
seeing
stuff?
what the car can do.
Totally. You just articulated it, baby. Kagan's birthday is coming up.
Oh, wow. That was not great. His birthday is coming up.
When isn't it like tomorrow or something?
It's October 26th. So
Literally so soon.
Yeah, so soon.
What are you doing?
I mean, I don't want to say on the air, but
you always say he's not listening. Maybe he's listening.
The other day he came in and he was listening.
Oh gosh, I hate that.
I know.
Anyway, well, that'll be fun. Will you be together? Will you be in the same place?
I'm flying home the day of his birthday.
Okay, great.
So I'll be there for dinner
Okay.
and then the next day.
Okay. I just was curious. I had to check in.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone, I am back from traveling and jet lag is real. And thank goodness I have early bird gummies because they are there for me when I do not want to be awake too early in the morning, when I want to fall asleep at the right time. They are so amazing.
Early bird CBD gummies are such a miracle because for me, they let you melt away for just a few more hours of sleep. They quiet down your brain so you can watch a show, so you can enjoy a meal even more.
Yeah.
They're really so versatile. You guys, you need to go to earlybirdcbd.com. Try these gummies. They're perfect instead of a glass of wine after a long
great.
day.
I prefer them a lot of the time to drinking.
To unwind.
Yeah, to unwind. Absolutely.
They're so good. You guys, go to earlybirdcbd.com. Use code POP20 for 20% off. That's a big discount.
That's a huge discount.
They ship to all 50 states, so you can get this anywhere in the U.S. We love Early Bird CBD, and we know you will too. These are the best gummies. Okay, well, let's check in on Luann De Lesseps, shall we?
Yes.
So, Luann De Lesseps, everyone, this is huge news.
Huge.
She told Page Six, she said, "Thank God for my cabaret career because the TV gigs are few and far between."
Yeah.
She said, "It takes years for women to see profit from being on Bravo." And she said, "No one makes money from Housewives in the beginning." I mean,
we know this. But I think it's always interesting having a housewife reiterate it. And I think that Luann is a housewife who I've worried about financially.
Yeah.
Because I think that, it's, she's had a rougher road post-divorce and everything.
Well, absolutely. Very much like only want the best for Luann.
Yeah.
Also, I think when you look at the women and you see the clothes, the glam, like, guys, just to get your makeup done, generally it's $500.
Yeah.
Okay, for professional
Literally,
makeup.
I got my makeup done for my engagements. $500.
$500.
No questions asked.
That's not hair.
That's not hair.
I'm guessing hair is the same.
Yeah.
So we're talking $1,000 probably every time they film for most of these women.
Yes.
So then what is that? If they film 4 times a week for 3 months, we're talking 40 to 50 grand
Right,
on
just on
glam minimum before we even get into clothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
So these people are probably spending $100,000 to $200,000 just on their appearance.
Right. Well, and a lot of times.
And cosmetic treatments.
Just because you're throwing the party and it's on camera, you're paying for everything.
Oh, the
it's
private
not like
jets.
Bravo is like, let us know what trip you want to plan and we'll like make everything happen.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, it costs a lot of money to be a housewife.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is why I think so many of these women, it's a lot of like faking it till they make it.
Yeah.
And actually become big enough to make a lot of money from it or to make, better money.
Right.
Something else I thought about with this is that I think a lot of women on Housewives, because the money isn't there, from the get-go, it takes them a few years and then they finally get a divorce because they finally make, I know that's sad, but it's like then they finally start to like kind of have enough money from the show or have enough with like other brand deals to stand on their own 2 feet.
Right, right. I mean, if they ever even get there.
If they ever get there. But I think that like that tracks with some of the divorce timelines in Housewives.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that Housewives is giving some women a second chance.
Absolutely. No, I think
know?
it's great. It's like so great.
It is a gamble and a risk you take though, because you look at someone like Whitney on Salt Lake, and clearly like they've invested so much in her businesses, and now her businesses are being like really degraded on the show, and kind of I can't imagine sales are doing well at Prism jewelry right now.
Yeah.
So you really, it's a gamble.
I mean, not just Whitney, but like a lot of the time, like these Housewives brands are just like very mid.
Also, something I will say, just because you're a housewife doesn't mean you have a successful podcast.
No.
Like Two Teas in a Pod is a successful podcast, but there are other housewives, big name housewives with podcasts, and I think people will be floored by honestly how few of downloads they get.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that we should tell people the rest of this episode we're going to get into, let's get into Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so much going on there. But then we're going to talk about Liam Payne. So, you know, you can fast forward if you want to hear us talk about Liam Payne, or you can just stay for Housewives.
Yeah.
Have the off ramp or off ramp now.
Whatever you decide, whatever you prefer.
You know,
dear listener.
Yeah, blessings on your road, whether it be with us or without us.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay. So, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I was floored by how good this recent episode was.
It was a great episode. It was an excellent episode. Where do you want to begin?
I mean, I would love to talk about Bronwyn.
Yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to start, because I think that was the best part of the episode.
Her talking with Lisa.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. This is why Real Housewives can be so great, because it is real women sharing very like real parts of their life. Yeah. None of that scene was produced, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it was just so substantial. You know, her sharing what she has been through. I think it offers just so much like humanity to people to share that experience. So she shares that she was 18 at BYU when she found out she was pregnant. And, you know, she and her boyfriend tell his parents, and his parents are very unhappy with this. They basically blame her. They say some things that she doesn't repeat, but she says are very traumatic for her.
That she says, like, you know, the night that they told his parents, she took a lot of the blame that night.
Yeah. And the dad didn't want anything to do with it. The parents and step didn't want anything to do with her or their grandchild. Yeah. She decides, you know, she has the baby, which is Gwen.
I think she says too, I think in their mind, they kind of wish that I had just gone on a long study abroad, had the baby, given it up for adoption, and then returned to normal life.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting how it's like always about appearances. It's like, I would so much rather you give your child up for adoption, not because this would be a better thing for you, but because it would make us look better to our friends if they don't know about this.
This would cause, like, you know, some looks in our direction. And we don't want those looks, so give that child up for adoption.
Right, which I bet is the reason they don't want anything to do with Gwen, who's the now 19-year-old.
Totally, because it's like, they would have to explain how that happened.
So, obviously Bronwyn has been through so much trauma because you just think of what it would be like to be a little 19-year-old girl.
18, 19.
18, 19, excuse me. Ugh. And you get pregnant, which is just like so scary in a conservative culture. And you have the courage to keep the baby. Yeah. Which it takes a lot of courage. Yes. Especially in a conservative culture. And then you have to deal every day with the rejection and lack of support.
I mean, that the father of the child didn't want anything to do with Gwen.
And the grandparents. And I think that was just such an impressive thing to hear about and story to tell.
It made me really appreciate Bronwyn and her life so much more. And I liked her fine, or maybe she kind of mildly annoyed me before this. And now I'm like, wow, you're so interesting. And you've had such an interesting life, and there's so much more to you than just like loud fashion.
Right, exactly. And I think that Bronwyn is such excellent casting.
Yes.
Because she comes with the luxury and the lifestyle and the incredible clothes, which is such a fun part of Housewives. Right. But she also really comes with this like rich backstory.
And this backstory that tracks with Mormonism and ties to it, you know, in the culture. So I think we should tell people, though, what this scene was.
Yeah, so she shows Lisa a photo of Gwen's dad.
Yeah.
And she says,
like, kind of out of just kind of offhandedly, because Lisa had said, like, Bronwyn had, like, they were talking and she made a face, and Lisa's like, oh my gosh, you look so much like Gwen. And Bronwyn's like, oh, that's so funny. Everyone always says she looks so much like her dad. Yeah. And then she pulls up a photo of Gwen's dad to show Lisa, like, you know, look. And Lisa's like, oh my gosh, I knew him. So sadly, Gwen's dad passed away, I think, when she was 2, so years and years ago. But Lisa is very close to his family.
Yeah, and Lisa knows them very well, and she kind of explains she knows their
Grandparents.
side of the story or whatever it is.
Yes.
And she seems extremely empathetic in her interviews and talking to Bronwyn. It was just such an interesting moment. And Bronwyn shares that, you know, Lisa's talked with them and they would like to be in Gwen's life now. And you see Bronwyn have a conversation with her daughter Gwen about this. And it's just really, I think, one of the things that really got me was when Bronwyn was like, they thought the best thing that ever happened to me was the worst thing that ever happened. And I don't know, I had a lot of empathy for her.
100%. Also, when she talks about how she thought that, I think she's speaking to Gwen when she says this, like, I thought that I could just kind of like make your life full enough.
Right.
And I could be enough that you wouldn't wonder about this other side of your family. And, you know, that honestly wasn't necessarily fair of me to do or to expect of you. Of course, you're going to wonder about your dad and his side of the family. And I just thought like it's such an important conversation. And I don't know. She seems like an amazing mom.
She seems like an amazing mom. And one of the other super poignant things she talked about was when she's like, it's going to be hard for me to see her have a good relationship with them.
These people who made her feel terrible and who rejected her.
And I just think that's like one of the things about parenthood. You know, the things you have to do to make sure you don't kind of like foist your trauma on your kids. How selfless you have to be a good parent. It's really just, it's very daunting.
I think too, like I want to take a minute and just like say so much of Housewives is like dumb and petty, and the stuff that we talk about is like all of those things, you know, like we love watching it. But I think that like I just really enjoyed this episode because it just felt so much deeper than usual. You know,
it was so real. And I think that, I mean, kind of zooming out a little bit, you know, it just seems like this cast, it really has it. It has like the Bethany Frankel character in Heather Gay, who's so witty, who's so funny, but maybe less mean.
Yeah.
And it has like the eccentric rich lady who doesn't even barely care that she's on TV and Mary.
Right.
Like, you know, it has kind of that Luann figure or that Ramona figure.
Yeah.
It has... I don't know.
It's got some great characters. And also I will say, like, I really found Lisa to be very endearing in this episode as well. And I think Lisa can be like, on my $60,000 ring. Like she can seem a little bit out of touch and just kind of like cold. But I found her to be so warm and like, I don't know. I made me like Lisa more.
For sure.
You know, to see that she's maybe in this complicated position where she like likes these people who treated Bronwyn terribly. And like, I think it also speaks so much to the small town nature of Utah, Utah County, Salt Lake City, especially, and the, you know, the Mormon culture there, like everyone kind of knows everyone. So A+ episode. I do want to touch on Jared Osmond.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we get to Jared, I just also want to say, I thought it was so cool of Bravo to show the scene and Bronwyn and Gwen to really share the scene where they discuss meeting the grandparents. And Gwen, who seems so wise. It's just like the way that basically the grandparents said, we want to meet Gwen, but only if she's in a place where she's ready to accept us. Essentially saying like, we want to essentially not deal with any negative emotions you might have from our abandoning you. And we only want to meet you on our terms. And
just like, let's just totally turn a blind eye to the past 20 years or whatever.
I think parents can do when they're not being selfless.
Or parents who are like, I don't want to talk about the past. You know, like mistakes were made. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to take responsibility in this moment. Let's just move on.
And I was literally thinking if our mom was giving advice to their grandparents, and I just feel like our mom would be like, what you should say is you can tell me everything that upset you. I'm so sorry. Like basically we just want a relationship with you at like any cost. So, and that should be the attitude.
Right.
And I just thought it was
like,
really...
we're so excited to be a part of your life, whatever that means to you.
And whenever you're ready. And I just think that, it was cool of them to show that and for Gwen to be like, I don't know if I want this, but then also to share that like, there's also the cost if she doesn't move forward with meeting them, that she might look back and think that was kind of my only opportunity to understand more about like my father.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just such real stuff.
Yeah.
So good.
And you know what? The stuff with Jared and Brittany is also extremely real, Lauren, okay?
Wait,
He's given her everything that she asked for.
I just think, I saw a comment online that were like, if you look at what Bronwyn's giving, you know, it's so much depth, and what Brittany's giving, you can see why one got the snowflake and one didn't. But I kind of disagree. I think that a lot of us know what it's like to be extremely in denial. Okay.
I don't think Britney's purposefully not giving us stuff.
Oh,
I think she's giving us everything she's got.
So much. She's in denial, she's delusional, and she's fully dick-whipped to a mediocre man, which a lot of us can relate to at some point in our lives. Okay? That is a universal female experience.
The scene where first of all, I'm annoyed with Britney after this episode, but I do think that I'm more annoyed with Jared because, she's like, I hold your hand in public. Like the things that he's listing off as just like the reasons why she should be so thrilled.
Yeah.
This man is terrible. This man sucks.
This man is awful.
And I think we've all also had those friends who have a terrible boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great night out talking shit on him,
right.
Like finally trying to get her to see the light.
Right.
Then, she comes crawling back and then it's like, you guys were really mean about Jared.
I mean, it's just so exhausting to have a friend
just
like that.
Don't tell me then. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about the good or the bad because I think this guy's a joke.
Yeah, for her to blame Lisa, okay, when Lisa was really just like having her back and finally helping her stand up for herself.
Right.
And then it's like, now you're the reason,
Jared's mad at me.
Oh, poor Britney.
I know. And I mean, he's just like such a clown.
Such a clown. I will say, I loved when Britney was really doing the work at the Harley Davidson dinner and she was asking, like when Bronwyn's like, are you just attracted to him because he's an Osmond? And she's like, are you just attracted to your husband because he's rich? I mean, that was some pretty good sparring.
Totally. I mean, I want Britney to stay on the show because I think there's like good drama there.
Mm-hmm.
I think she definitely brings it. But I mean, the Jared stuff is messy.
The Jared stuff is very messy.
This guy, he's just a clown. And it's a bummer because Britney had a little bit more self-respect, I think. I think she would see it.
I think hopefully, hopefully she'll be able to get some perspective when she watches this season, Chandler.
Yeah, hopefully.
Also, one other thing I'll say before we move on from Salt Lake, but I just find like the characters who are performative in like a very campy, over-the-top way to also just do it in such an excellent way. Like when they did the flashback to Angie K, and she's like, and you said I was in the Greek mafia? There's just something to me so captivating about Angie K when I first was very off-put by her, but now I just think she's like one of the best characters.
No, she's great. I really, really like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we started off slow.
Yeah.
And last season obviously ended with a bang, but I think we were all a little skeptical going into it. But they have me again. I'm into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
No, I'm so excited.
And it's like they can carry the show without a Monica character.
Or a Jen Shaw.
Or a Jen Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is such a good cast.
Yeah.
And I just think that, New York has a lot to learn from the work Salt Lake is doing.
Totally.
We need more. We need to see more of your real life.
Yep.
And I think that we need a little bit less self-awareness of the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
A la Mary Cosby, who's just elite entertainment.
She's so great. I mean, I think as well, like, she's clearly like giving us more. Also, I just feel so sad about like her son and like seeing that scene with him. Ugh, it's really sad.
Well, you know what wasn't sad?
What?
The look on Mary's face after just a quick run on the zip line. Just so happy. I mean, when she's like, I've zip lined so many
on a
places.
Disney cruise. Like,
oh, that was incredible.
It was really good. It was good.
So good. Well, I can't wait. I'm excited to also watch Orange County this week.
Yes.
So Bravo is really giving right now.
Yeah.
Should we get into Liam Payne?
Yeah, let's talk about Liam Payne.
Okay.
This was so shocking last week.
Yeah.
So sad and terrible. I mean, I was getting my hair done and
when you found out,
when I like opened up my phone and I was like, it's just, I guess for anyone who doesn't know, Liam Payne suddenly died last week.
Mm-hmm.
He fell off a 3-story balcony.
Yeah.
In where was he again?
He was in Argentina.
Argentina, that's right.
So it says autopsy results show that Liam, he didn't jump. He accidentally fell from the balcony in an almost complete state of unconsciousness. He was obviously very much under the influence. And apparently when you fall, if you realize it, you will try to break your fall instinctually, but there was zero evidence of that. So he most likely was unconscious.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, on some level, it's good that he probably experienced very too little to maybe even know. He didn't even experience
Cognition
it.
or pain. Yeah.
We can hope.
Yeah. It's so horrific and tragic. And, as more kind of comes to light, I heard like the 911 call of like the hotel person.
Yeah.
So someone had called the 911 in Argentina. I don't know if it's 911, but to say like, hey, like, this guest in this hotel room, we think he's under the influence of drugs. We're a little bit worried about him. I mean, they literally say he's in a room with a balcony.
Right. Yes. The
So
balcony apparently was
chilling.
like it was only 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So they
Ugh.
knew it was like a little bit of a scary situation
Yeah.
or very much a scary situation. Also, apparently prior, he had received an email that was very upsetting, and he had bashed his laptop into the ground in the hotel lobby while yelling, screaming, and rolling on the floor.
Ugh.
So clearly Liam was, dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
He'd been dropped by his PR.
Mhm.
He had been working to release an album, and his album label dropped him as
Ugh.
well. And I just think that it's just so interesting. It's like, even though this person has achieved so much success, you just know that he was, he probably was looking at his other bandmates and
Right,
seeing
right.
where Harry Styles is and
I mean,
Zayn, and just like people have gone on. And
even worse than that, I think
Ugh.
too, like, I think if you are a child star or if you are, in a boy band or whatever, like, you have to claw your way to being like mentally healthy. I think it just takes such a toll on you
Yeah.
to achieve that level of stardom when you're that young and to feel normal and it's so, I don't know, it's almost like I feel like child stardom should be like illegal or something because
Right.
it's just clearly he had a lot of demons.
Yeah.
And I know that other bandmates of him, like, and we know Zayn has like demons and stuff, and it's just so sad. In one of the TikToks I saw about this, apparently he had tried to leave Argentina a couple days before with his girlfriend, who was there with him vacationing, but they wouldn't let him leave. They wouldn't, like, his visa, they wouldn't let him leave
Right.
on his visa because he was under the
Yeah.
influence, which is kind of crazy. Like, how do you, like, you're at the airport
I
and you're
know.
like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
It's really,
I mean, maybe it's something where they don't want people who are under the influence getting on commercial
yeah,
aircrafts.
probably, or something. I mean, yeah.
You think about what happened with that pilot.
Yeah, right.
It's just so horrible.
Clearly there was just a lot happening in his life
Yeah.
that he was struggling with, and a lot happening, from external factors with his life, and it's really, really sad.
In May, so this is something that's interesting. In May 2024, Liam's ex-girlfriend, Maya Henry, released a book called Looking Forward that is a work of fiction inspired by true events that exposes a lot of terrible things that had happened in Liam and Maya's relationship. At the time, Liam's team warned her not to put out the book since he was in a fragile state. I guess a scene in that book is someone like falls from a balcony too, which is pretty wild.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
gosh.
eerily enough, Maya Henry wrote about a person falling off a balcony in her novel Looking Forward, which was released earlier this year.
Ugh. I mean, I think too, he was pretty open about his drug problems, and I guess a year ago he was really proud of how he'd been sober for a while, and then like clearly he had relapse recently. Yeah, it's
devastating.
really sad. I mean, he was like so young. So young. Ugh.
It's extremely tragic. Okay, well, you guys, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Our Patreon episode, our premium episode, is going to be dropping earlier this week, most likely. So probably on Thursday, because we're recording it a little earlier. So keep an eye out for that tomorrow. And with that,
We'll talk to you next week. We'll see you later.
See you next week. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love ya. Blessings on your road.